electronics would like to...
Mr. Intellivision, how come all you ever talk about are sports games?
Sorry?
Intellivision now has games like the arcade.
I know.
Rock Chase.
Absolutely.
Tron Deadly Bit. Excellent.
Right.
Night Stalker. Awesome robot.
Oh, glad you like them.
Sorry, I can't hang around here. I'm going home to play my Intellivision.
Who was that kid?
Hey, what's up everybody? Mr. Poestyle here, and today we're going to do our top 10 Intellivision favorite games. First off, I got to say, I didn't have an Intellivision until about 4 years ago, so my collection isn't huge. I'm just basing off what I actually own, the games I like to play with my son. I was actually an Atari 2600 and an NES kid growing up, but I've got a huge collection of systems and games now in the last 4 or 5 years or so. So, starting off, number 10 for me is Frog Bog. Now, you might say, why Frog Bog? It's, you know, not the greatest game. I think for two-player it was a lot of fun, and that all started off for me actually playing it on the Atari 2600 with my brother. It was known as Frogs and Flies on the 2600, and it's just a fun little game where each person's a frog. You hop around, you try to eat as many flies as you can, or dragonflies for bonuses or whatever. They had a daytime mode and a nighttime mode. We thought it was really cool at the time. We would just spend hours just sitting there. We like to put it in the mode where you could free jump wherever you wanted. The other mode was they jumped in an arc just from one lily pad to the next. But my brother and I had a lot of fun just being able to play a game together like that back then. So Frog Bog is my number 10. Alright, moving along. Number 9 for me, Stampede. And again, this goes back to the Atari 2600 days. Stampede was the very first video game that I personally ever owned. Activision was just awesome. This is Christmas of 1982. We got our Atari 2600 and played the hell out of it. We only got a handful of games. I actually have my original 4-switch back here. Here's my original Atari 2600 Stampede from back then. And it was just very addictive. You know, I was 9 years old, playing home video games, not having to wait until you'd find an arcade machine at a local restaurant or something. It was just awesome. And that first year, we got Stampede. It was mine. Pitfall, my oldest brother got. It came with Pac-Man, or 4-switch Woody. Came with Combat. My other older brother got Defender. And Haunted House was a family gift, which turned out to be my dad's favorite video game of all time. He played Haunted House and 2600 Pac-Man like crazy. But, you know, a lot of these games are just going to be for the feels and nostalgic feels. I loved Stampede on the 2600, so when I got my Intellivision, I had to immediately buy Stampede for it. So that's number 9. Moving along to number 8, and it's going to be more of the same here. Atlantis. I absolutely loved Atlantis on the Atari 2600. I got that one when I was a kid. Again, we played the hell out of that game. And my older brother got Cosmic Arc, which is kind of like the sequel, the continuation of this game. After you rescue all the little guys, or you leave from Atlantis, you rescue guys in Cosmic Arc. I don't believe that one ever did come out for the Intellivision, but there you go. Number 8. Atlantis Biomagic. Really fun and addictive game. I really hope to see this come out for the Amiga. Okay, number 7, you're going to see a theme here. Popeye by Parker Brothers. I fell in love with this game on the Atari 2600 when my oldest brother got it one year for Christmas. We thought it was so cool to play as Popeye. You know, you beat up Brutus or Bluto or whoever. And I have this game for a ton of systems now. It's one of my biggest collections. I have it for my Odyssey 2. Of course, my 2600 was the first version. I've got several copies just from getting them in lots for my Atari 5200. I have it for the ColecoVision. I have a board game that's based on the arcade cabinet, and I have a card game that's based on that. So I just love the game Popeye. There's the Intellivision version. I liked how Parker Brothers also did the gold labels instead of the silver for the Intellivision games that they came out with. Alright, moving right along. Number 6 is Masters of the Universe. Because who didn't love friggin' He-Man and Skeletor back in the day? So Masters of the Universe, I remember playing it on the 2600. Never owned it for the 2600 back then, but really loved playing that. Who, what kid didn't want to be able to play as He-Man? I'm surprised we didn't get a lot more He-Man games back then. So, Masters of the Universe. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. It's a fun game. Okay, what are we down to here now? Number 5 is Diner. Diner is a really fun game too. It's the sequel to Burger Time on the Intellivision. It only came out, as far as I know, for the Intellivision. It's a fun little game where you're rolling the balls down to get to the bottom. The different food you're rolling around while the baddies are coming to get you. And from what I've heard, that's actually, it was when it was in development, it was supposed to be a sequel to Masters of the Universe. And then at some point they changed it, they put the chef, Peter Pepper or whatever in there, and the food's chasing after him and things like that. So Diner's a really fun game. If you get a chance to play it, even if it's on emulator, I know it's a pricier game these days to pick up. I think it came out later in the system's life. But give it a try. It's really fun and addictive. Number 4 on my list, another Magic game, Tropical Trouble. This game's just a lot of fun. It's a sequel to Beauty and the Beast, and that's an awesome game. On the Intellivision, where you're actually chasing after to get your girlfriend back, which is pretty much the theme of probably 9 out of 10 video games back in the day. But so much fun. Give it a try. Tropical Trouble. Tons of fun. Alright, what do we got here? Number 3. Well, this is kind of rough. I love this game. I would have thought it would have been my number 1 game, but after looking through my other games, Burger Time. And this is another game that I own for a ton of different consoles, and even newer versions that I downloaded to the Switch. There was Championship Edition on the PS3, something like that. World Championship, this and that. There's even a game that came out for cell phones, and I just play Burger Time like crazy. But Burger Time for the Intellivision, in my opinion, and a lot of people might not agree, but I just like the layout. It's different than the other ones. It's not the same layout as the arcade. But I really think that there's something about this Intellivision controller. A lot of people hate the disc for different games, the fire buttons. This disc really seems to work great with Burger Time. Just the movement in it's just wonderful. And it's not the greatest looking game, but it plays so well on the Intellivision. The 2600 version doesn't look so great. I have it on the ColecoVision. I have it on my Nintendo, the NES, and the controls. I mean, it might look better on those two systems, the ColecoVision and the NES, but in my opinion, it definitely doesn't play better. For those older systems, it doesn't get any better than Burger Time on the Intellivision. So then that takes us down to number 2. Number 2 on my list is Beauty and the Beast. What an awesome game. Beauty and the Beast, by Magic. It's a kind of Donkey Kong clone. Actually, I like it more than Donkey Kong on the Intellivision, more than Donkey Kong on the 2600. It's just a really fun game where you're working your way to the top to try to save the girl. You go further and further, try to get to the top of the building. It's just a wonderful game. So again, give it a try on emulator or whatever you need to play this game. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I guess I'm going to do some honorable mentions too. I think the Creep did that in his video, because there's just so many fun games, and I'm lucky enough to own some of the really good ones on the Intellivision. Dracula, because who doesn't want to be Dracula? You know, you run around, you bite people's necks, you know, turn to a bat, whatnot. Dracula by Magic, honorable mention, great game. And Worm Whopper. And both Dracula and Worm Whopper, especially Worm Whopper, I think, are rarer games. Probably a little pricier to get for your Intellivision at this time. But play them on emulator, you know, play them on your phone on emulator, whatever. Although I hate touchscreen controls on cell phones. But Worm Whopper was made by Activision. It's kind of like a shooter, horizontal shooter. You have, snails and inchworms and all, you know, kind of bugs coming from the side. Like an older version of Plants vs. Zombies, where you're the farmer, and you got your bug spray, you know, and you got to protect the corn, and the bugs all come in from the side, and you got to, and it gets harder as it goes, and you don't want them to destroy your corn, but they'll destroy your corn, and they'll pretty much kick your ass come the end of it. But Worm Whopper for the Intellivision by Activision, and as far as I know, like that's the only system that this game ever came out for. So for me, it's a must-have. It's a lot of fun to play. And finally, number 1 on my Intellivision list, and that's Thunder Castle. Well, Thunder Castle is just an awesome, awesome game. Some of the best graphics, startup screen, and the very best music. You'll recognize some of the music if you were watching Smurfs growing up. It's a maze game, is what I consider it. I mean, you get a power-up, you touch a bat, then you can kill the dragon. If not, you can't. Better than Pac-Man, in my opinion, for the time. I mean, the ultimate maze game, if you ask me. Kind of like Mousetrap, the way areas close on you, the hedges or vines or whatever close in, and you can't get through there, and the dragon's coming, and holy crap, but hopefully you'll touch a bat, then you can go slay the dragon, but you're a very short amount of time to do that in. But it's just really, really a fun game. I can go back to this anytime at all, play it all day long. You know, you got different screens. I think the first one is the dragon, is who you're after. The next, I believe you go after wizards. The wizards are chasing you around inside the castle. And there's different power-ups in that one. It wasn't the bats in that one. But then the third one is demons. I think you're in the dungeon and there's demons trying to kill you and blah, blah, blah. You know, same thing. The maze closes on certain parts. You got to get through. You got to grab something special. You can get treasure. You can get keys. But Thunder Castle is my number 1 Intellivision game. Now let me know what you think. If you play Intellivision, you love Intellivision. I know there's a lot of ones. And classic ones. I didn't touch, you know, Astra Smash or any of the space type of games. I wasn't huge into the space games. I mean, we all played a lot of them because at the time, space and video games were the thing. Late 70s, early 80s, everything was outer space because Star Wars made everything so, you know, space so popular. You know, Space 1999, Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon. So everything was space themed, it seemed like back then. I loved the movies. I liked playing Space Invaders. Asteroids, I think I had more fun with, you know. But then it came to other games that had more of a story to. That's what I like more. Or even just multiplayer, co-op, or playing at the same time, like Frog Bog was just so much fun to me. To be able to sit there and play a game with my brother all day long. That about wraps it up for this video here. Thank you for watching. Again, let me know what you think. What your favorite games are for the Intellivision. And check out our Facebook group. It's Mr. Poestyle, Retro Game, and other rad things. Check that out. When I first made it, I accidentally made it a private group, so we don't have a lot of members. They're all members or personal friends of mine right now. But we'd like to grow that page too. I'd like to get a lot more people to share things on there. Share their YouTube videos. Share their old commercial videos. You know, share pictures from whenever you were a kid. So check it out. Thanks for wasting your time with me. And we'll see you on the next video. Later.